What's up, and welcome to this week's edition of Invisible Walls. I'm Shane Satterfield, editor-in-chief for GameTrailers.com, and this week we have Ryan Stevens. What's up?
Not much. Pleasure to be here.
Justin Spear.
Hey, what's up?
Daniel Bloodworth.
Hey, hey.
What's going on, guys? Looking like we have a pretty tight show this week. First off, we're going to go to our footage of the week where we select pieces of media that appeared on Game Trailers that we were really into that you guys might have missed. Next, we're going to answer your mail. After that, we're going to roll into a new segment called What's Up, and this week's target is Sega. After that, we're going to hit the news. Then we have another brand new segment called The Gaming Life with Grumpy McGrump, which should be world-class video casting. Ryan, what did you see on the site that you were really into?
Well, I know a lot of people went crazy over Dead Fantasy, but my pick is, which I uploaded as a user movie, I didn't make, was The Kings of 4 Billion Power Percent, which is a 13-minute long, apeshit crazy sprite battle from some dude who watched Akira way too many times.
So is it like Dead Fantasy in 2D?
Yeah, with less tits.
Well, it's all original.
Well, that's not fun.
There's some tits.
It's pretty good. No, it's like kind of looks Metal Sluggy. It's all original characters, though. He's not like pulling from anything. It's just but it's definitely
they kind of there's some points like
gamey.
Krang was in there for like 2 seconds. But
well, Krang's not a video game character. He's
Pikachu.
Ninja Turtles. That's true. Pikachu.
But
that's like a second. It's like a cameo.
Sure.
It's not like Pikachu fighting Krang.
But like, I mean, if I can imagine like
they're about the same size.
Blood, what did you see on the site that you really liked?
Speaking of blood,
Definitely all the Mario Kart stuff. I mean, that's all. I can just generalize it because I think on like the first day of the flood, we got like 17 videos, which outnumbered all the Mario Kart videos from the past year.
Yeah, why have they kept that game so under wraps, man? It's like, it's a few weeks away, and
now,
it's like you saw it.
People will
and
buy
you're
it
not
anyway.
impressed, so that's probably why.
that could be. I don't know. It's pretty
Yeah.
odd, though. I mean, it's one of their big blockbuster franchises.
it seems to be like their new kind of strategies to keep it quiet and then to just blow it out like crazy. I mean, we're up to 27 Japanese commercials for Wii Fit.
Why do they make that many different commercials? Like here in the U.S., they make like one commercial. There's one commercial for Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and I see it constantly. But in Japan, it's like...
It's a ton.
And they all look the same, too. It's just some dude sitting in a white room playing whatever game.
Well, no, did you see the Mario Kart one yet?
I haven't, no.
There is not a single shot of game footage. It's just the wheel.
I think we have to say Dead Fantasy 2, though. I mean...
Or
You can say what you want. That's your video. pick of the
GTA
week.
just
That
did
is
like...
definitely my media pick of the week. It's friggin' amazing, man.
It's impressive stuff. One-man show. He does the whole thing and like
crazy.
Yeah, that's his life.
Yeah, I know,
mean,
but
he has
I've
a
seen
job
Dead
of-
Fantasy 1 already, so...
But, I mean, to get that done, that must be it. He comes home from work, and he sits on his computer, and he works on that till, like, he can't stay awake anymore. It's amazing, though. I mean, the choreography in that is awesome. Like, when they're sliding down the side.
Yeah,
Granted,
the vertical
Yeah.
cliff. Yeah,
granted, it's
I think-
completely implausible,
Awesome.
but video games aren't plausible either. So I don't know. For all the work that went into that, that's definitely my pick of the week. If you haven't seen Dead Fantasy 2 yet, it's awesome. I think part of the problem is people don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They don't realize that
it's
it's
not
like...
my favorite name. Haloid. It's no Haloid.
Yeah, Haloid's kind of descriptive. It explains
Fantasy,
to you
like,
it's like
I don't
Halo
know.
versus Metroid, but Dead Fantasy, it just sounds like all the Final Fantasy characters are going to die. Anyway, that's my pick. All right, next up we have On the Hook, where we answer your questions about game trailers or the video game industry at large.
Okay, I got one from Commander. I have a question
With
for
a
you.
3.
Yes, that's true.
That's Leet.
Like Driver 3. Could be Commander 3. I think you should say his name, Commander 3.
Okay, Commander 3 has this question. I have a question for you guys. Why are your reviews so late? Like Vegas, it's been out for 3 days, and I've already beaten it, but still no review? Shouldn't reviews be posted before a game is released?
No.
Nice question.
Question answered.
Well, there's a lot that goes into it, right? I mean, it's different for pretty much every game.
Well, this kind of
Yeah.
falls back with our embargo stuff from
Yeah.
last week. Or multiplayer. Rainbow Six has a lot of multiplayer, and we had to...
And in fact, we always wait until we can play multiplayer. Sometimes the publisher will set it up with us. Sometimes we have to wait till we get retail in to play it. And it does serve us well sometimes. For instance, with our Team Fortress review for the Orange Box, like we were pretty much the only outlet to point out that the online was crap and that the lag was unbearable.
That's one of the things. I mean, since we're all video, we can't fake it. The print sites, you just type up your article. You're like, yeah, multiplayer is pretty good. I played an event a few months ago. I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, video kind of screws us in that way, period.
Yeah, we have an extra 2 or 3 days, pretty much, once we get the review done.
Yeah, because, I mean, a lot of the other guys, they write the review and they're done. That's the beginning of the process for us. After we've played the game, written the review, then it has to go into our edit bays and be edited all together. It has to be looked at, then it has to be compressed and published, and then, we put it out in like all those different formats. So, we're a little different than everybody else. We have different sort of demands on our workforce. And all I can say is we're doing the best we can to get things up. We try to target the big games and get them up day and date. Doesn't always work out. But stick with us. It's going to get better, I promise.
Being different is being great.
Sometimes.
Not in Nazi Germany.
That's a Mormon slogan from like 5 years ago. No one recognized it? Church of Latter-day Saints? Anyway.
All right, our next question is from Fridgeman. And this is his language, not necessarily mine. But why is your shows so damn long? Most of shows like this are typically 45 minutes. I've seen an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. People just kind of like let the mic run and then put it up.
Yeah, I mean, we're the kings of 4-minute media. I mean, I think we put up plenty of pieces that are 4, 5, 6 minutes long. And the reason this show is longer is because we wanted it to be. We want you guys to have a chance to get to know the people that are working in game trailers. You can't do that in 4 minutes. I mean, you're not going to get to know anybody in that amount of time. Yeah.
Once you know us, you'll love us.
Maybe they don't want to know us, and that's the problem.
I don't know.
Or maybe they don't want to love us.
Asking for. We did this caricature thing so you wouldn't have to look at us. You don't want to look at us.
Yeah, they keep asking for our photos. Why do they want that?
That's kind of creepy, guys.
It is kind of creepy. We're gamers. We're dudes.
I'm a pretty good-looking guy. Myself.
You are, Justin. You're quite svelte and attractive.
Thanks. Okay, last question. It's from O.O. Simon. Do you think the Wii Remote is starting to lose steam and become more repetitive as games such as Super Smash Bros. And Mario Kart seem to reinforce the idea that games should be more old-style based in their control scheme?
That was one concise question.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Yeah,
really
I think what kind of we're learning, or the Wii Remote, it's something new, but it's not a replacement for the old style controller. And Smash Brothers is probably a perfect example. Mario Kart, I think there's going to be some people that can play fine with the wheel and others that will want the old controllers.
I think maybe part of the problem is that we just overestimated what it could do.
Yeah.
Wii Sports is still like the best.
Yeah, when I saw that,
controller
I was
game.
like, this is the beginning. It's only going to get mind-blowing from here.
Yeah.
And it really hasn't.
I mean, well,
it's not going to save your game.
Metroid did first person really, really well.
Yeah, it's great.
But
Yeah.
Wii
The
Sports
rest
and
of it,
Metroid.
Even games, I mean, it is capable of some cool stuff. Like, it can pick up whatever direction it's pointing. I mean, it is like a 3D object in 3D space, and it can figure out which way it's pointing and whether it's upside down or backwards. But it's not fast enough for the application of video games, I think, is the issue.
Yeah, there's the performance aspect to it. It's like the game's telling you to do this, and you're thinking you need to do that.
Right.
And you're doing something different than what the game wants, and so it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So-
Part of the fun of Wii games is figuring out exactly what the hell you're supposed to be doing.
Well, that's why WarioWare was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had 3 seconds to figure it out.
Yeah, and then you could always just blame the Wiimote if you failed.
That's true.
Yeah. Maybe part of the right way to do it is to use the Wii Remote without abusing it. I thought No More Heroes
definitely.
did it pretty well. You use the Wii Remote for the wrestling moves and the finishing blows, and it doesn't. You're not sitting there waggling the whole time. It doesn't have the waggle curse. So you can play the game, and when you do that and you cut a guy's head off or split him in half, it feels pretty good.
Well,
so they kind of use it to spice things up.
The high guard, low guard stance.
Oh yeah, well there's a high
Which
stance. And
actually
a low
works, even though
stance.
it's like just a binary
Yeah.
thing.
Well,
you
it's
don't-
simple.
You're not overthinking it. It actually becomes a reflex.
Well,
which
it's
is
simple, and
actually
that's
pretty cool.
that's why it works. They don't have 4 stances where hold the Wiimote upside down and on top of your head.
Yeah.
For the killing woodpecker stance.
So that was your comments and questions for this week. Keep them coming. We'll send you 1,000 GTD if you get your question read on the show.
Next up is a brand new segment we like to call
What's up?
This segment is all about us finding things in the gaming industry that we're completely perplexed by. And this week, we're completely perplexed by Sega. What's got us all in a tizzy over Sega?
Well, I mean, you got to look at Sonic. Yeah, I mean, the making out with princesses and stuff like that.
dude, it was just weird.
Yeah, and then even the PSP games, Sonic Rivals,
Yeah.
not so good.
Yeah, basically the only good Sonic games left are on the DS at this point.
The Rush games,
Yeah.
yeah,
Lot
good
of fans.
music.
They're
They're good.
2D games. They're still the only good ones. I mean, that's pretty much it.
They've made some decent choices in like publishing some Western developed games. Condemned, decent.
Yeah, good.
Club. Viking,
Decent.
I'm not so sure.
Yeah, we just
Viking's
got that
not
in.
too bad. It's
No?
not too bad.
Not so bad.
Yeah, you've been playing Viking. What's up with that game?
What's up?
It's really
What's up?
What's up? The thing is, I don't know. You if you look at someone playing it, you're like, combat doesn't look that tight. It's the God of War influence is like they kind of. I think they put it a little bit too high on a pedestal. They're like open anything or like unlock a door. They're like tap circle rapidly. It's like use a portal, tap circle rapidly. And the guy is like holding his amulet and like, okay, tapping circle. But it has kind of a cool non-linear thing going on where you go different places to build up guys for your army, and you like someone needs this. At basically the end of each stage or whatever is like a big army assault on like a city where you have a bunch of guys. It runs a little slow, so it's not technically performing super great. But you like call in a dragon to like take out specific targets, and you go through and like hack up the general. So it's got some cool ideas. Conceptually, I think it's pretty strong, but execution is.
Maybe what's up with Sega is more like what's up with us. Maybe it's that our expectations are so high for them that they release these games that are pretty good.
No, I think it's them.
Yeah.
I mean, that publishing. I mean, it's not like, oh, thanks Sega, you made me a really awesome game. Like the last Sega new thing I was really psyched about was I actually liked the Shinobi remake. I thought it was
The
really
PS2.
cool. I thought
Hard
it had
as
some cool
nails.
ideas. It's hard as balls.
Yeah.
Hard as nails being driven through balls. It's pretty hard. But after that, I mean, yeah, none of their franchises have been dying off. They have to give things to other people now, basically, with the Sonic, RPG, or like pull in things from publishers. They're just not what they used to be.
I mean, at this point, one of their few franchises that really still is 5-star is Virtua Fighter. I mean, it's still, in my estimation, it's still the best fighting game on the market. I'm more into the technical one-on-one fighting games. It's just sad to see a company that used to be, close to dear to my heart, just flopping.
Well, I mean, they left hardware. They still were publishing a bunch of games. They had some really innovative stuff that didn't really go anywhere.
They dropped their
Jack
sports
Grind
line.
Radio.
Their sports line was great. They dropped that.
They made a
Enter
great
Dragon
F-Zero
Orta.
game.
Yeah, they made a great F-Zero game. The best game that they made for somebody else. Probably the biggest story of the week was WiiWare launching in Japan. Bloodworth, you screwed around with all that stuff.
Yeah, I played about 6 of the 9 games that came out. I skipped the Japanese text puzzle game and,
Why?
and Solitaire.
Why? Our users want to know. They could have had video of that game.
But I played Ping Pong, I played Dr. Mario, I played Animal Panic, Final Fantasy, Star Soldier. So.
Can you give us one-word reviews of all of these games?
All of them.
Do they even deserve one-word reviews?
I don't know. Final Fantasy is interesting, though. It's like basically a Final Fantasy themed Sim City, but it's set in the Crystal Chronicles universe. So it has the longest name ever.
Why?
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles My Life as a King. But yeah, so you come in, you find out you have this magical ability to build houses, and apparently when you build a house, people pop out of it, and those are your citizens, and
Gotta have citizens.
yeah, and then you recruit citizens to go to dungeons and bring back resources to build more houses, and it keeps going from there and there. The weird thing is that even though it's the most expensive game on the service, it's $15, there are extra microtransactions on top of that.
Really?
Yeah. So
For what?
The other 3 Crystal Chronicles races have to be bought, and then there are just
That's
goofy
racist.
costumes like pirate costumes.
That's
and
racist.
stuff
How much
like
are the
that.
costumes?
I think all of them are between $1 and $3 each. So the other cool ones that they had, new version of Dr. Mario, which is probably a good choice to bring out games like that. They have the original mode, and then they have 2 new modes. There's one that's called Flash Mode, where you're competing to get specific viruses cleared rather than all of them. And then there's Virus Buster, where you have to drag the pills onto the viruses, and then they start dropping multiple pills at the same time, and you can play 4 players.
So what games were worth the money on WiiWare at the launch?
Final Final Fantasy, Dr. Mario, Animal Panic, maybe not Ping Pong. It's the cheapest one. It's $5. It's not much to it. You've got a couple different tables, but the art style and the 3D models are fairly impressive for a downloadable game. So, but it's not ultimately. It's not that much different than Wii Tennis. So.
Well, it sounds like WiiWare was off to an auspicious start. Encouraging, but not great.
9 games at the start's pretty good selection. We'll see what the next couple of weeks bring.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see some good stuff, because I'm not convinced yet, personally. All right, next up is a brand new segment on the show, The Gaming Lifestyle with Grumpy McGrump.
That's me.
And Grumpy actually is named Marcus Beer. Marcus, you want to tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
I'm a Sagittarius. I like long walks in the rain. I like gerbils. You actually want the video game bits?
Where do you like gerbils?
Wouldn't you like to know, big boy?
Yes.
No, I later, dear boy, just bring the rubber gloves and the bucket of soapy frogs and we'll be away.
Sounds like a Peter Molyneux game.
Bucket of soapy bullfrogs. All right, so anyway, I've been working in the industry for like 20 years now. I'm a veteran, didn't you know? I have worked for numerous companies as a PR scumbag. I've worked for Sierra, where I launched Fear. I worked for Ubisoft, where I launched Ghost Recon. Nova Logic, Black Hawk Down. Launched some good titles in my time. And I've also been a scumbag journalist as well. And you were daft enough to ask me to come on and vent my spleen about what pisses me off. So here I am, because I'm British and annoying.
Now, I remember back when you were repping Fear. I came there and I reviewed Fear. And then I gave Fear a 4 out of 5 when I worked on X-Play, and you would not let me forget it for a good year.
Yeah.
In hindsight, do you think I was right now?
No.
You think it was a 5 out of 5 game?
I think it was a 4.5.
We didn't have 4.5. We
Why
had
not?
4 or 5.
Look, if the MPAA can create PG-13 for friggin' Steven Spielberg, you could have created a 4.5 for me.
Just for Fear.
Just for Fear, it was a 4.5 game. You brought my Metacritic rating down so badly. I was coasting at a 92, and then you brought me down to an 89, you bitch.
Well, it sounds like you're still pissed off.
I'm always pissed off.
What's got you pissed off right now?
EA and this whole Take-Two hostile, everything's gone hostile there. Take-Two has said, F off, we don't want your money until, we've shipped GTA and then you're going to have to pay more. But I think it's a bad thing for the industry if EA absorbs Take-Two.
Why?
Well, you say goodbye to 2K Sports, let's face it, I know EA have done some of their damnedest to pull as many licenses away from the opposition. 2K Sports goes bye-bye. But I think, the bigger issue is that you look at one of the biggest franchises around. And not only that, it's one of the biggest, cross-platform franchises in GTA. Mm-hmm. GTA goes to EA. And this is where gamers everywhere should be scared, because, oh yes, EA will spend all this money. This is the new shiny EA. They're so nice to their developers now. Well, if you're not old enough to remember the Westwood Studios debacle, go on Wikipedia and look it up, because Westwood Studios was one of the best studios, bar none. They got absorbed by EA, and the people got drummed out.
Right. John Riccatello's big mantra is that, if he absorbs studios, he's not going to repeat the debacle of Westwood and other mistakes that they've made in the past.
Well, we'll see if that happens. It's a very nice sentiment, but I think the knock-on effect is going to be in software. I mean, obviously, you and I spoke about Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2, GTA 5, what's going to happen? You're going to buy the game, you're only going to have half of Liberty City in GTA 5. Why? Because it's going to cost you an extra $20 to download each new level from EA afterwards, because they're going to microtransaction it. I'm not a Star Trek fan, but as far as I'm concerned, they're the Borg. And, Resistance, they assimilate people, they pull people in. I've got some very good friends who work at EA who, if they listen to this podcast, they should be working. Go off and earn your money, you bastards. So anyway, yes, EA, bad. They should not be buying Take-Two, in my opinion. I think, just to perhaps close my opinion off, because I know I'm gobbing off and nobody else is saying anything. Look at the movie studio model, where the movie studios of 30 years ago, 40 years ago, were, there was still some homegrown, and then the corporations came in, and then for the longest time, and this has started to change recently because corporations are setting up their own indie arms, and, it's easier to get perhaps indie films out there nowadays. But for a long time, it was a very barren period. It was just the same stodgy fare that came out. It was summer, it's going to be a blockbuster. Winter, it's going to be a blockbuster. Crap, nothing else for the rest of the year. I can see the games industry go in that direction. If you only have 3 or 4 big publishers, where's the competition? Where's the innovative ideas going to come from? I mean, we only have a couple of people like Pete Molyneux. We have Will Wright. In the US and from the UK, there's only a few really great. The God of War team as well. Really great game developers. And where's the next generation going to come from?
That's why I can't stand fanboys. It's like they're so short-sighted. It's like, why would you just want one console to dominate? When one console dominates, there's nobody competing to push things forward. It's like, it makes no sense.
Well, that's the problem. Fanboys are all they're all children. They're all children who've been very spoilt. I mean, again, most of the people around this table, yes, we are old, dear listener, but we've grown up with a Master System, a Super NES, an Amiga. We then went. Who remembers the 3DO? The Atari Jaguar. There was a whole bunch of stuff out there. Believe it or not, Sega actually used to publish consoles at one point.
Yeah.
Long before
Go
most.
figure.
Exactly. But I mean, there was a whole variety. So you need competition. 3 consoles is a good level, but you need a lot more software publishers just keeping
You
it
just
fresh.
scared me because I just realized that was almost 10 years ago now
What?
since the last Sega console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dreamcast.
99.
Yeah. I actually bought my first Dreamcast 6 months before I got married.
Wow.
And the Dreamcast lasted a little longer than the marriage.
Well, Marcus, we want to thank you for coming on the show. You will be a recurring character on the show, and we'll be seeing you here regularly. So thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, and I look forward to recurring with you anytime, big boy.
Right on. That's it, folks. This week's episode has come to a close, but we'll be back next Thursday, so be sure to stay tuned. We definitely enjoy getting your feedback and your questions. And Ryan, how can they interact with the show?
As always, they can go to invisiblewalls.gametrailers.com or send us an email at invisiblewalls@gametrailers.com.
And we'll read them all, we promise.
Or skim them.
Or at least look at the subject heading.
Yeah.
Invisible Walls, out.